You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. The person who died in a shooting last Thursday on Madison's east side has been identified.
The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office says the victim was 18-year-old Tayshawn Larry of Beaver Dam. The shooting is still under investigation by Madison police. 2 teens were arrested Tuesday in connection with the incident. Both are facing charges of first-degree reckless homicide and armed robbery. During an initial court appearance yesterday, one of the teens' cash bond was set at $250,000. This is the first homicide of the year in Madison.
Janesville police have also identified a man who was shot in mid-December and died weeks later. 51-year-old Twion Cannon was shot on part of North High Street on December 17th. Last month, police arrested 41-year-old Deontay Foster of Janesville in connection to the shooting. He's facing charges of first-degree intentional homicide following Cannon's death. Court records show a trial is scheduled to begin in April.
Let's get a check on the weekend forecast. How does 40 degrees sound on
like
Sunday?
a dream.
Yeah, it does sound like a dream. Blaze is out on the sunny weather patio. Hi, Blaze.
Hello. Yes, it's sunny, a bit breezy. The chickadees behind me are not happy I'm out here. I think they want to eat as much food as they can because when it gets this cold, these birdies, they've got to eat a lot of food to maintain their body weight. So they want me out back into the studio as quickly as I can. So I'll make this fairly quick. It is beautiful outside, 20s, temperatures right around 25, 26 degrees for most of us. Near 30 though in Watoma, 27 in Waukesha, 23 Monroe, into Dane County, 27 in Middleton, as well as in Cross Plains. It's a comfortable 23 in Edgerton. We're sitting underneath clear skies. High pressure that brought down that cold Arctic air is beginning to slide its way eastward, and that means southwesterly winds take on over, and that means that we are set to warm on up. But not before remaining quiet, not only throughout the rest of this evening, but into your Saturday as well. Winds are going to be picking up in speed, though, as we go throughout your weekend, because we got to get into those mid-40s by Monday. After settling into the single digits and teens tonight, we're set to climb into the 30s for your Saturday. We're going to track out the warmth that we're expecting in the full forecast.
Thanks, Blaze. Roughly 7,000 probationary workers with the Internal Revenue Service are expected to lose their jobs this week in the newest round of federal layoffs by the Trump administration.
This comes less than 2 months before tax day. So how will this affect your filing and refund? Armand Rahman spoke to a local accountant to find out. Armand?
Susan and Brady, the good news, a CPA tells me she doesn't expect the layoffs to have too much of an impact as long as you get your tax return filed in the most efficient way and as soon as possible. In fact, right now, Kim Ginther with Micro CPAs says, as always, the closer to the deadline you file, the longer it takes to process and get your refund. And that'll definitely be the case after these layoffs. She recommends reaching out to your accountant if you have one, or file yourself online or with the software of your choice. And now more than ever, it's better to select direct payment and direct deposit for your return.
Some people do like to write checks, or they want that check in the mail for their refund. And when you elect that, it usually takes longer to process those. We've seen delays, pretty much since COVID had started. And with this new layoff, it most likely will increase those wait times for those refund checks.
Now, News 3 Now has obtained an email a former IRS employee received on Wednesday, which instructed them and 4 other colleagues to come in yesterday and today with any government-issued equipment. The email said under an executive order, the IRS was directed to terminate probationary employees, quote, not critical to filing season, and gave no further details. That employee tells News 3 Now, as of this broadcast, they're still waiting for an official termination letter that was promised to them. Now, the accountant I spoke to says problems could arise this season with corresponding with the IRS on any issues with the return. I'll have more on what some of those issues may be and where you can get assistance with tax help in the area tonight at 6.
Thank you, Armand. The mom of missing 16-year-old Sophia Franklin is giving us a better idea of what happened before the teen disappeared. Leah Franklin says her daughter had no fear when it came to meeting strangers online, so they tightened her technology restrictions. Sophia first left home summer last year when her family believed she was staying with a friend. In December, a probationary officer in Arkansas found Sophia living with 40-year-old Gary Day. Sophia returned home for the holidays, revealing she was pregnant. Weeks later, Sophia's dad found disturbing disturbing messages between her and Day, the father of the child. Court documents show Day referencing suicide, then saying no one will care. 2 days later, Sophia was gone.
We were being diligent. We had, software in place and safety procedures. The more we had to do that, obviously, the angrier she got with that, but it was all to protect her.
The Amber Alert for Sophia remains in effect in 3 states. Beaver Dam police ask anyone with information to contact the department. One person is hurt following a house fire this morning in Lake Mills. That home is now deemed uninhabitable. Crews were called to a home along South Main Street where flames could be seen coming from a door that led to the basement. Thankfully, everyone inside was out of the home when firefighters arrived. The home sustained fire and water damage. The cause of the fire is still unknown.
Work resurfacing I-94 in Dane and Jefferson counties is set to begin on March 3rd. The work will be done between County N in Cottage Grove and Airport Road in Lake Mills. The project will also include minor work to 5 bridges over I-94. The work is expected to wrap up by late November. If you're interested in learning more about the construction schedule and the impacts, there will be a public meeting at the Cottage Grove Village Hall on February 24th at 5 p.m.
And Governor Tony Evers is putting nearly $16 million to replace pavement along Wisconsin Highway 16 in Jefferson County. Preliminary work is scheduled to begin March 17th. The work will happen along the highway between East Main Street in Watertown and Rock River Road in Exonia. Traffic will detour using Wisconsin Highway 26, I-94, and Wisconsin Highway 67 during construction. The project is expected to be complete in late fall of 2025.
A new bill in the state legislature could help Wisconsin farmers lower their repair costs. State Senator Brad Pfaff and Representative Jenna Jacobson are pushing for the new legislation. It would require manufacturers to provide farmers with access to repair tools, parts, and data at fair prices. The proposal would also allow farmers to fix their equipment or use independent service providers without restrictions from manufacturers.
We do have a very strong industry when it comes to mechanics and maintenance. And I think it just makes absolute sense that we want to make sure that we keep this work local. And that is why, again, I think this legislation makes an awful lot of sense.
The Wisconsin Farmers Union also backs the bill. They say limited repair options have been a financial strain for farmers.
Well, today people gathered in Dodgeville for the annual Chinese New Year luncheon. The event was hosted by the Central Asian Productivity Center at the China One Buffet. Guest speaker Wang Bodong, the Chinese Consul General, came up from Chicago for the event. The Dodgeville mayor says it's a great way to bring people together.
Having events like this certainly helps people understand that we live in a bigger world than just our city, and there's opportunities, even if it's worlds away, to work together and collaborate and find ways to make our world a better place.
The mayor also says it's an opportunity to showcase Iowa County to the Chinese Council.
Bet the food was pretty good, too. The Spirit of Service campaign is underway as we look to honor our local veterans making a positive impact in the community. News 3 Now is partnering with Vortex in giving back to veterans. All you have to do is log on to channel3000.com and nominate a veteran in your life doing something good. Over the coming weeks, we'll be sharing their stories, and you'll get to vote and choose which veteran gets to take home a $5,000 cash prize. A winner will be announced in early April.
And next on Live at 4, it will feel like spring by Sunday in southern Wisconsin. Blaze has a forecast next.
And the man accused of killing a healthcare CEO was back in a New York City courtroom today. What's next in the case when Live at 4 continues? The job cuts being implemented by President Trump, Elon Musk, and the Doge team are impacting federal workers well beyond the Beltway of Washington, D.C. Liz Alvarado, a tax examiner at the IRS office in Kansas City, was one of at least 100 let go today from the Kansas City office. More than 6,000 IRS employees are expected to be laid off nationwide. The White House says these government-wide layoffs have been in the works for a while.
They would have looked at performance and not just the date I started.
There should be no secret about the fact that this administration is committed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. The president campaigned on that promise. Americans elected him on that promise, and he's actually delivering on it.
President Trump ignored reporters' questions this morning about whether Americans' tax returns would be delayed as a result of the layoffs, and some lawmakers are facing backlash now from constituents who are concerned that the job and spending cuts are going too far.
The suspect in the fatal shooting of a health insurance executive made his first court appearance since December.
Luigi Mangione was in state court in Manhattan, where he previously pleaded not guilty to murder and terror charges. Bradley Blackburn was there.
Luigi Mangione appeared in state court Friday on charges of first-degree murder, terrorism, stalking, and firearms offenses in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a Manhattan hotel in December. Prosecutors laid out evidence, and the judge gave the defense until April to respond. The 26-year-old's legal team says he's not being treated fairly.
He's in shackles. He was wearing a vest today. Some looked like I don't even know what it looked like, but a very serious vest with his legs shackled and his arms shackled.
Crowdsourcing has generated more than $500,000 for Mangione's legal fees, and protesters demonstrated again Friday. The case has cracked open broader frustration with the American healthcare system.
Luigi Mangione had one deliberate intention in an alleged attempt, even though he is still innocent until proven guilty. But the message is still clear, and that's that we need healthcare reform.
CBS News legal analyst Jessica Levinson says if this does go to trial, attorneys will look for jurors that can be impartial, even if they've heard of the case.
What we're looking for is people who can walk into that jury box and then later into the deliberation room and say, here's the applicable law, here are the facts that were presented to me, and I'm going to make a decision only based on that.
In a case spanning multiple jurisdictions, Mangione also faces federal murder charges that are set to move forward parallel to the states, and those could carry the possibility of the death penalty. Pennsylvania, where a fugitive Mangione was finally arrested, also says it will not drop the 5 charges there. Mangione is being held in a Brooklyn federal jail where other high-profile defendants like Sean Diddy Combs and Sam Bankman-Fried are also behind bars. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And Blaze is here with a look at our forecast. It seems like we're being rewarded with some sunshine and warmer temperatures.
Yeah, we had to get through those single digits and those even colder wind chill values, but that same high pressure system that brought down that cold is going to bring us that warmth as we end the weekend and at least go through the first few days of next week. We're looking at the mid 40s, possibly by Monday. So there's that Arctic high. It's going to continue to slide its way south and eastward. We're going to watch as more sunshine is sitting over us as we go into your Saturday, mostly clear to partly sunny to start, and then those clouds will chip away. We're getting the atmosphere ready to be set up for northwesterly flow, and I'll talk about that here in just a moment. But even with the clouds returning a little bit on Sunday and then further into Monday, these southwesterly winds that are going to be present starting today into your Saturday, Sunday, they are going to continue to warm us up as we go into the start of next week. We're going to see a few clippers move through the Midwest, mainly Sunday into Monday, Monday night into Tuesday. That's when we could first see some light evening mix Monday night into early Tuesday, but a better chance is looking to be maybe Wednesday into Thursday. So what is northwesterly flow? It's actually very simple. It's kind of living up to its name. Essentially, the jet stream is set up from northwest to southeast. We see this typically in the heart of winter and then in the heart of summer as well. when the jet stream has kind of set up and locked itself in place for the season. What this means, though, is systems coming out of the Pacific will go into Canada, and they're going to slide south and eastward. But because the jet stream's northwesterly flow is over us, as these systems move on through, we tap into the heat that is just off to our southwest, and then we cool down on the backside of that rather quickly. So even though our winds are in the jet stream out of the northwest, at the surface, they're out of the southwest, and that's what's helping us warm up. But that's the reason why we're able to tap into this heat as we go into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. And then as those Clipper systems move on through, especially Thursday into Friday, they then pull down that cold that's just sitting off to our north and east. So we're going to go from the 30s tomorrow into the possibly low 40s on Sunday. We'll stay there Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Thursday is when our second Clipper system looks to exit the region, and then back behind that, those northwesterly winds pull down the cooler air, and if all things hold true, we could be back into the 20s as we kick off your March. And it does look like our long-range models, while not confident for us, are picking up on possibly that cool down just off to our north and east. So if we stay in northwesterly flow, we may warm up for a day or two and then tap into that cooler air that's sitting off to our northeast as these systems move through the Midwest. But at least for now, our friends at the Climate Prediction Center from the start of March through the 7th have us in about a 40 to 50% chance of being cooler than average for that first week of March. But that is way into the future, so folks, enjoy the warmth if you've been waiting for it while it's here. Upper 20s to low 30s tomorrow, breezy and sunny, mostly clear to partly sunny conditions. There was a look at that 7 and 10 day forecast. Eyeing a light wintry mixed chance of Monday night into early Tuesday. We get a break for Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday looks like a better chance for another system to move on through, but we really don't cool down until Friday and Saturday, and then further into that following Sunday and Monday. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, nearly a whole week of staying in those upper 30s to mid 40s beginning on Sunday.
And may I confess something? Is this a safe space?
Sure.
I did wear shorts when I left the gym outside.
It was warm. Hey, it was warm. I don't blame you.
All right, thanks, Blaze.
Thanks, Blaze.
Well, as we continue celebrating Black History Month, Madison's first Black Poet Laureate joins us. Dr. Fabu Phyllis Carter was named laureate in 2008 to 2012.
Our Michelle Renee Quinn sat down with her to talk about the importance of culture, creativity, and the literary arts.
Fabu Phyllis Carter writes to encourage.
I really want to encourage Black people around the world of our gifts and talents.
To inspire.
I also want to inspire our young to stay resilient, stay loving, stay kind, but also understand that freedom is a responsibility.
And to remind.
When I say remind, that's mostly for adults and elders because they've led very accomplished lives. They were on the forefront of the civil rights. They have lived through segregation. So I like to remind them of the appreciation we have for them.
She educates through her art.
I really love combining historical fact with creativity.
And reminds us all to find your destiny and pursue it with all your heart.
Please find what your gift is to the world from you. And no matter what that is, you can still be creative with it.
She leaves us with a poem.
Art is Us, an original poem by Fabu. Art tells on us where we are hiding, what we won't speak, the destiny we run from. Art makes us pause, enter, interpret, express our identity, our integrity without escape. Art sees into us, brings brilliance forward, each genre its own illumination.
Thank you, Fabu and Michelle Renee. We have some breaking news. The Associated Press is suing 3 Trump administration officials over access to presidential events, citing free speech. It also asks a federal judge to stop the 10-day block of AP journalists.
The lawsuit was filed in the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C. The AP says the case is about a unconstitutional effort by the White House to control free speech. Well, coming up on Live at 4, Josh Sprider is in the 608 and he has some good treats.
He'll tell us how the Wisconsin Girl Scouts are kicking off their cookie sales this weekend when Live at 4 continues.
Well, you know what day it is. It's
Friday! That's
Doesn't
right.
it feel good?
It does.
And we're in the 608 helping the Girl Scouts of Wisconsin kick off their cookie sales this weekend.
They joined our Josh Sprider on News 3 this morning to talk about the reason behind the season.
So, Gabby, I want to start with you. Hit us with the details, because this is one of the sweetest weekends of the year.
Yes, absolutely. So our Girl Scout Cookie Weekend begins tomorrow and goes all the way through April 13th. We've got 8 weeks of cookies this year, and all of your favorites are back, including one cookie that's going to be retiring this year, our Toast, yay. We have 23 counties that are all going to be selling our cookies all throughout southwestern Badgerland.
Oh, my gosh, so exciting. And Caitlin, you're a 6th grader.
Yep.
And you're out of Cambridge.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about what got you involved with being a Girl Scout.
So when I was little, there was like a big packet that came home, and I showed it to my mom. My mom was looking through it, and she asked me, "Do you want to do it?" And as the stubborn 5-year-old I was, I just said no. So then my mom said, "All right, I'm gonna try it for 1 year, and if you don't like it, we won't do it again. But if you like it, we'll continue doing it." I'm like, "Okay."
And here you are 7 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. What's your favorite part?
The thing is, I can't just pick one. I love everything about it. I love the meetings, the trips, the field trips I go on with my troop. I love traveling with Girl Scouts, and I love the community service projects and summer camp that I get to go with Girl Scouts.
So a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So talk to us about your goal this Girl Scout cookie season.
My goal is 4,000 boxes of cookies.
Wow.
Because there's an international trip to London, England, and I've decided I'm going.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. What have you gotten in years past?
Most of them have been like 2,000. It started from like in the hundreds, getting to like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and now I'm trying to go to 4,000.
So you've kind of worked your way up. What's your favorite cookie?
My favorite cookie are Caramel Delights and Lemonade.
Oh, those are good ones.
Yeah, Caramel Delights for that tropical coconut flavor with that ooey gooey caramel, and then the lemonades for that tangy but sweet taste.
Oh, I love it. Gabby, how about you? What's your favorite cookie?
I have to go with the classic peanut butter patty.
Those are so good, too.
So tasty.
Yeah, we haven't even opened those up yet, too. I feel like that's going to be changing
we'll bust into those next.
All right, so how can folks support their favorite Girl Scout like Caitlin right here?
Yes, absolutely. So starting tomorrow, there are going to be booths all over. So those are everywhere from grocery stores like Pick and Save and Walmart. They could even be at little local places. They are going to be everywhere. You can also go to gsbadgerland.org/find cookies. Type in your zip code and it'll tell you exactly where your booths are. You can also buy cookies online to be directly shipped to you. You don't even need to leave your house.
Nice and easy and convenient, just the way we like it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Gabby, Caitlin, thank you so much for being here, and good luck with your goal. I think you could do it.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank
More
you.
details are up on channel3000.com as well. And remember, you can let me know what inspires you in the 608. You can go on social media or email us at inthe608@WISC-TV.com for a chance to be featured.
I wish you could have heard Brady say, "Oh no, the toast ones are good."
They're so good. If the peanut butter tag along ever goes away, that'll
be devastating.
Will flip this desk. Well, coming up on Live at 4, Tanisha Shaw shows us how Sun Prairie Area School District is celebrating Black History Month.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
It's Friday, the sun is out, the birds are singing. What more could we want?
That is a lovely shot of a farm field near Dodgeville, but by the end of the weekend, there might be a little less snow out there. The weather words, warmer temperatures arrive on Sunday. Blaze, that's good news for a lot of people.
Yeah, if you have been tired of the cold, we're not really vibing with the single digits and those very cold wind chills. Mid-40s return by Monday, and that warm-up really begins on Sunday. We got to get there, not only tonight, but also into your Saturday. Current temperatures, we're at 25 in Madison, 21 Mineral Point, 22 in Platteville, 24 Lone Rock, 23 in Janesville. We're at 26 still in Middleton, Verona, 25 just 2 hours west there in Mount Horeb. So overall, most of us are sitting right around 25, 26 degrees, but it feels a little bit cooler out there. Still got that snow on the ground, and we have southwesterly winds. And again, southwesterly winds just really tap into that heat a little bit more effectively than even southerly winds or southeasterly winds. And over the next few days, our winds are going to stay out of the southwest, and they're going to be working overtime here to get us into those mid-40s by Monday. Into the single digits and low teens we will head tonight underneath clear to mostly clear conditions. Mid-40s return on Monday, as I mentioned, but we could still squeeze out a few wintry mix chances. We'll time those out in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Sun Prairie Area School District is celebrating Black History Month, and they're hosting a soul food dinner within the next hour.
Taneja Shaw is live at Sun Prairie East High School. So, Taneja, how is the community celebrating today?
Hi, Brady and Susan. They are celebrating with a soul food dinner. I'm so excited. This is already making me so hungry. So right now, as you can see behind me, it's a little bit empty, but that's because their Black Student Union and their advisors are setting up and getting ready. The event is expected to start around 5:30. Now, everybody is going to fellowship and gather around soul food. I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate Black History Month. I know firsthand, and as the students and advisors told me just moments ago, soul food has a very deep meaning to the Black community. So I'm excited to dive deeper into that during our 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. newscast. And the best part, you can give back to the Black Student Union at the Sun Prairie School District. And I'll tell you how you can do that in our other newscasts as well. Brady and Susan, I'm going to bring it back to you. Hopefully, I can bring a plate back too, because that would be more important, I think.
You're reading, Taneja, you're reading our minds. Have fun. It sounds like a great event.
Yes, exactly.
We'll see you at 5. Well, after Tuesday's budget address, analysts are picking apart the governor's budget draft.
Political reporter Will Keneally shows us. Will.
We've been talking at length about the state's budget surplus. That's extra money that Wisconsin has taken in that the state hasn't quite figured out what to do with yet. We spoke with Jason Stein of the Wisconsin Policy Forum about how the governor's budget may impact that top line number.
I think the bottom line is this is a very broad, deep document with a lot of changes to taxes and a lot of changes to spending. It would substantially spend down the state's surplus. It would leave a fair amount in the state's general fund and rainy day fund.
Now, this is part of a longer discussion going into some more of the highlights of the governor's budget and where the process goes from here. And you can see more from our interview this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record.
We will see you Sunday, Will. Thank you. Stocks were down on Wall Street today to end the work week. The Dow dropped 748 points. The NASDAQ lost 438, and the S&P 500 shed 104.
UW Health is expanding primary care services with a new family medicine clinic in Janesville. The clinic, located at the Baker Tilly building, will start seeing patients on Tuesday. To build in the existing space, UW Health used a segmented wall panel system. UW Health says this allows them to reconfigure the space and meet a growing demand.
Packer fans are getting a sneak peek at what Lambeau Field will look like for the upcoming 2025 NFL Draft. These renderings showcase the setup for April 24th through the 27th. The draft theater will be in the stadium's northeast parking lot. The campus will also have 800,000 square feet of NFL experience. That includes food, kid zones, NFL exhibits, and sports for kicking field goals and running dashes.
Everything someone could want.
It's going to be a big deal.
Yes. Well, coming up on Live at 4, Will Loper shows us 3 things to watch.
What thriller series is coming back to Max, and what else is streaming this weekend when we come back?
On the next Live at 4, Will Loper reviews a new comedy horror film, The Monkey.
And we go behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs in one of Madison's favorite cars, the Toyota Prius.
If you're looking for something to binge watch this weekend, Will Loper has just the thing for you.
That's right. He has the details on new shows and movies that are now streaming.
Our hotel is the best in the world. At the end of the week, you will be an entirely different person.
Get swept up in the drama of the third season of The White Lotus, newly streaming on Max.
I hope you enjoy Thailand. We usually go to the Caribbean.
The show follows the relationships and dysfunctions of a new group of employees and guests of a fictional resort chain, this time in Thailand.
Everyone comes to Thailand. They're either hiding from someone or they're looking for someone.
We made it to the state championship.
Girl, why are you so sweaty? You got this! Okay.
Watch 8 different stories surrounding a softball game in Win or Lose, newly streaming on Disney+.
Everyone is chasing the feeling of a win.
Everyone makes it look so easy. I feel like I'm barely hanging on.
But if someone wins, we'll make it work. We always do.
We always do.
London, the lion's den. And dive into the criminal underbelly of 1880s London with 1,000 Blows, newly streaming on Hulu.
We just get here from Kingston, Jamaica. And we are looking to make some money in the ring tonight.
2 friends on the run find themselves in the world of dangerous criminals and bare-knuckle boxing.
My name is Mary Cobb, Queen of the 40 Elephants. The biggest gang of female thieves in the whole of London.
For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
Plans are forming.
And you just started the first new episode of The White Lotus.
I did. Those all look really good.
Yeah, some good watches this weekend. Well, coming up on Live at 4, it's not just a car service for a Baraboo woman. A ride to her doctor's office is life-changing.
We'll show you why she and others are so grateful for a donation that's keeping a vital resource going for a few extra miles. We've been choosing a warm location du jour all week, and today we're in Phoenix, Arizona. This is a live picture. The Milwaukee Brewers spring training camp is underway in nearby Maryville. They play the first game of the spring season tomorrow afternoon. Look at that blue sky, 75 degrees.
Pretty good, I'd say. It gives us warm feelings. Well, a ride service that helps people in Baraboo get to where they need to go almost had to park it for good. A mix of budget shortfalls and a decrease in ridership put the city's shared ride taxi service in jeopardy. With a lack of public transportation, people there rely on the discounted cabs so they can go to places like the doctor, pick up prescriptions, or get groceries. And we've previously showed you how a donation from SSM Health St. Clair Foundation is helping keep the service going. And now we're hearing from a Baraboo woman about how it's affecting her and why city leaders hope to find a more long-term fix. If anyone loves a good page-turner,
Demon Unrest. I'm halfway through Demon Unrest.
it's Mary Grant, and it's not uncommon to find her here at the Village Booksmith in downtown Baraboo.
I read every day. I read probably 2 or 3 books a week.
That almost changed, though. 4 years ago, doctors diagnosed her with wet age-related macular degeneration, which leads to vision loss.
To not have that ability, I'm not good at listening to books on tape. I'm a much more visual person.
Thankfully, she found a treatment to save her vision. Monthly injections in both eyes.
When I get the injections, I don't feel that I can drive very safely. So I call a cab and take a cab. My husband used to drive me, and then when he picked me up, he would always have French fries.
Though her cab rides don't come with a side of fries, they are vital for getting her to her appointments and thousands of other people in the community.
We were very concerned.
Due to some budget cuts in the city of Baraboo, the shared ride taxi service was on the chopping block. We reported on SSM Health St. Clair Foundation's $50,000 donation that will help keep the program going for another year. Executive Director Julia Randall says the foundation knows transportation can be a big barrier to health care.
We see, individuals, if they're going through radiation, that is a daily appointment for 6 weeks or more. And so if they don't have family in the area, or if their family is working and unavailable, it's a short time frame, but they need a way to get to and from those appointments.
Baraboo Mayor Rob Nelson says before COVID, the taxis had about 65,000 riders per year. Post-COVID, that dropped to about 35,000 riders per year. Early data shows ridership is growing again this year, which helps its chances of continuing.
We're just very grateful.
Nelson, who also owns this bookstore, is hopeful this year's state budget will fill some of the funding gaps in the future.
Especially sometimes when you're seeing members of the legislature who've worked in municipal government, they kind of know what some of those needs are and how difficult it is to make ends meet here.
Right now, it's a short-term fix, but Mary Grant is grateful she has a ride to her eye appointments every month, and that this isn't the end of the program's story.
It's one thing to call on friends or family occasionally, but when you do something on a regular basis, it becomes somewhat of a burden for them, and that's the last thing I want to be, is a burden. This allows me to maintain a certain measure of independence, and I appreciate that.
Oh, and we hope it continues. We'll continue to follow that story. Now let's get a check on the weather. Blaze is here with the weekend forecast.
And we talked earlier in the newscast about how we're going to be warming up, how we're entering into northwesterly flow, which is going to move these quick-moving clippers out of really the northwestern parts of Canada, south and east, into our neck of the woods. As they do so, they tap into some heat, they allow us to warm up, and then they cool on down. So let's focus on now the systems that we're expecting over the next 10 days and see how much snow they could bring us. That Arctic high that cooled us down is also going to be warming us up as it slides off towards the southeast, turning mostly sunny by the time we go into your Saturday, and then Sunday is when our first clipper system will move through the Midwest, but we won't really get any sort of precipitation out of it until maybe Monday night into early Tuesday. This is one of maybe 2 to 3 that we could see pass through the Midwest over the next 7 to 10 days. This is the first one as we go into your Monday afternoon, maybe seeing some rain, clipping parts of extreme southern parts of our viewing area, more into northern Illinois and then parts of Iowa. The second system moves in as we go into Tuesday, but really holds off until Wednesday. We're going to get both ends of this system. The front half, which is going to be more of that rain-snow mix, and then as it begins to exit into Thursday, probably more snow than rain, but still probably a mix based on temperatures as we go Thursday into Friday. These systems coming out of Canada, they don't pack a lot of moisture, but they could bring an additional inch or two to parts of northern Wisconsin and certainly more into the UP as well as in Michigan. And this is just one model's interpretation. If we look at the European model, a little bit further south, but still we're not really seeing a whole lot of snow by the end of our extended forecast. I pulled out this data all the way to the end, so over the next 10 days. This could be good news and bad news for some folks. We still have a decent amount of snow on the ground. It does look like we are entering into maybe a slightly drier period over the next 6 to 10 days as we look to wrap up February and go into the start of March. Upper 20s to low 30s tomorrow. Here's a look at that 10-day forecast. Mid 40s Monday, and we'll stay in the 40s through at least Thursday of next week.
Welcome back. Winter weather can be both good and bad for animals.
Otters and a red panda had a blast making the most of a snowy day at a zoo in Knoxville. Several North American river otters went for a little sledding on their bellies. They are so cute. And the zoo's red panda ate a snack while surrounded by the snow. The zoo says both species are well suited for colder climates.
But some other animals, they struggled. So kind of like all of us. Some of us are inside people during the winter. Others like to go sledding and have some snacks.
That's exactly right. That's very true.
Very nice. Well, we'll be right back.
Coming up Monday on Live at 4, we'll go behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs to test drive one of Madison's favorite cars, the all-new Toyota Prius. And then later on News 3 at 6, a vaccine for the bird flu could be on the horizon. We'll have the details. Thanks for joining us for Live at 4 on this Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope to see you back here on Monday. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.